Are you ready to lead change in yourself and in your organization? Welcome to Academy for Lean, a leading lean consultation and training organization operating across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. We are dedicated to empowering professionals and organizations to achieve operational excellence through world-class lean and continuous improvement programs. We proudly collaborate with Ontario Business Excellence Incorporation, Canada, the STEFSU UK, Advance IPSC, Bangladesh, and Lean Brain, Pakistan. Contact Academy for Lean at +94 754 558 558 or visit www.academyforlean.com. Academy for Lean.
All right, so we would like to welcome all of you to the webinar, The Hidden Power of Lean HR. I hope all of you can hear me and would like to invite all of you to do a small activity before we move on. Why don't you just type where you are from in the chat box, the country that you are joining today in this webinar. We would like to see from where you are joining before we move on to the rest of the things. And I would like to formally welcome all of you to this webinar on the hidden power of Lean HR. I'm Mohan Rajpaksha, who's going to be the moderator for this evening. All right, so we are getting right. So we have from Sri Lanka, we have from Pakistan, Brunei, and then from Bangladesh, Egypt, super, Bangladesh, Philippines, Cambodia. All right. We have from India, Maldives, Colombo, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. All right. So we have from Jordan. Superb. So we are getting viewers today from across the world. So we are really happy to have all of you here. And then formally would like to welcome all of you once again. So I think you all got an idea about what the Academy for Lean, but let me explain a little bit more.
Are you ready?
In detail what Academy for Lean does, because today's webinar is powered by the Academy for Lean. So we are specialized in helping businesses to streamline the operations, reduce waste, maximize value through the principles of lean methodology in both manufacturing and service sector, right? It's not just for manufacturing, it is there for service as well. So Academy for Lean offers professional certifications, and it also offers corporate consultancy and corporate in-house trainings as well, right? So this is all about Academy for Lean. And it also gives you professional online certifications in cooperation with OBEI, Ontario Business Excellence Incorporation, Canada. It provides TQM practitioner certification, also Lean Logistics Professional certification, Lean Green Belt certification. From USA, it provides the certificate into Lean HR Professional. And also from Academy for Lean itself offers certifications into 5S Practitioner and Auditor, Lean Yellow Belt, and also Certified Lean Quality Performer and Certified Lean Quality Expert. So these certifications are directly coming from Academy for Lean. And also Academy for Lean partners with Ethical Kaizen from USA, Ontario Business Excellence Incorporation from Canada, Advanced IPSC from Bangladesh, BestFX from United Kingdom. With Ontario Business Excellence Incorporation, Academy of Lean has delivered programs across 122 countries, including 21 countries from the Middle East and 52 from Africa and 49 countries from Asia. And you can find Academy for Lean through www.academyforlean.com. That is our website. And also you can find us through all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. All right, so we are ready to move on. Before we move on, I would like to mention you all can post your questions in the chat, because we'll be taking those questions at the end, because we have a separate question and answer session. And also we are going to bring a special gift for you all today. We will mention that towards the end. So we are moving on to the introduction of the panelists today. So we have Darshana Ratnayaka with 24 years of experience in lean methodology, operations and marketing, 18 plus years in lean HR, and he has trained over 30 plus nationalities globally. And he's an ex-global lean coach from Nike Incorporation, and then international lean consultant, ex-co-manager at MS Holdings, and the rest of the qualifications that you can see here. Some of them are only owned by Darshan here in Sri Lanka, right? So that's Darshan. And then we have Harshani, a highly accomplished HR leader and certified coach with 26 plus years of experience in driving HR transformation and developing high-performing individuals, integrating coaching methodologies into organizational practices to unlock individual potential and strengthen leadership capability and build resilient, people-centric cultures. She's currently heading human resources for Link Natural Products Private Limited, and she has been with MAS over the years as a human resource manager. And then she holds a Lean Green Belt, Lean 2.0 practitioner, and a fellow member of Chartered Professional Managers, and rest of the qualifications goes on. And that's Harshani for you. And then we have Mohan, currently General Manager, Human Resources and Administration for Haley's Fiber, with 26 years of end-to-end HR experience in both local and international organizations, proven expertise in building and transforming HR functions into high-performing, value-driven operations, strong background in strategic HR leadership, organizational development, talent management, industrial relations, and culture transformation across diverse business environments. He holds a master's degree in human resource management from University of Colombo, also a member of CIPM, a certified HR auditor, and a Blue Belt certificate. He's having a Blue Belt certification in Lean, and with expertise in aligning HR processes to human value stream and Lean concepts. So that's Mohan for you. All right, so these are the panelists who will be sharing their expertise today with us. And with that, let's move on to the first panelist. And I would like to pose the first question. Darshana?
Hi, Noan. Hi, everyone.
Right. All right. So the question that I would like to ask from Darshana first is, now, today we are going to talk about Lean HR and how we can find the magic through. We have some of them who are joining for the first time, Darshana. So why don't we explain them what is Lean in HR at the beginning?
Okay, thank you, Nuan. So for support to your question, I will share my presentation. So I think you can see my presentation now.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and thank you very much for joining. As you asked, a lot of people have seen where they are joining from. Still, others have a chance to say where you are joining from using our chat box, right? Okay, I'll move for your question now. First of all, right, what is lean, right? Lean, I think most of the people who joined today, you may heard about the word called lean. But in my lifetime, also like around 25 years in my journey for lean, most of the people ask, is it lean for manufacturing only? Maybe I think they ask because lean is start from Toyota. It's a manufacturing plant. But my answer is very clear. It is not only for manufacturing. We can use lean anywhere in your organization. Simply, if you have a process, you can use lean. So we'll go through what is the definition of lean, then we can understand more about what is lean, right?
Yeah.
And here you can see the definition of lean. It clearly says that it's a systematic approach to identifying and eliminating waste in processes in order to make product or deliver services. So HR is service department. So simple as that, right? To customers on time with the lowest quality and lowest cost. This is the simple definition of the lean. It is simply identification of waste and elimination in any process. I know the even HR department also has waste. So lean is support us to identify and eliminating of these waste. So we'll understand what are the waste defined in Toyota or the lean. Simply we call it teamwork. That is where we can remember, right? Teamwork mean you can see we have taken from the first word of each letters, right? T for transportation, I for inventory. So the motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defect, and unused skill. These are the 8 ways discussed in lean. When you go through these 8 ways, you can understand, yes, in our HR also we have this kind of a waste. Let's go through further. And lean manufacturing, right? So it's a lean manufacturing versus lean HR. That's a new word for most of the people today, right? What is lean manufacturing? Very simply, it is applying lean thinking to the manufacturing process. Simple as that. So then what is HR? Lean HR. Applying this lean thinking to the people process, because HR, we don't have material. We have people. So applying this lean thinking into the people process, that is very simply called the lean in HR. So this is, you can see the total diagram of the lean in HR. Once you just see this one, sometimes some people maybe see this like little bit clutter, but no, it's very simple, right? I'll explain a little bit, right? So let's say this is you, input is you and me, right? First, attract mean we get hired from the organization, right? We go for the interview and we get hired for the organization. Then after that, we join for the organization. What happened? We company provide us for development opportunity. Maybe they send us for the training, in-house trainings. A lot of things will be happen to develop us inside the organization. Then the company engage us to make the company development, then solve the problems and improve ourselves. Then what happened later? The total years what we work in an organization, they keep inspired us until we move from the organization. Maybe we are shifting for another organization, or we are retiring from the same organization. This is the high level of the understanding of this model. This model called human value stream, or we call the same way, right? Human value stream, or we can call the human system module. If you can understand this module, you are perfect in lean in HR. So this lean in HR, what company is using? You can see in my screen, right? Toyota, very simply, they are the one who introduced this concept to the world, and the well famous Nike brand. And happy to see in Sri Lanka, the MAS is the biggest apparel industry in Asia. They also use lean HR. And Intel, the John Deere, the Hans, Boeing, Amazon, there are thousands of companies, and the team I can say today they are using lean HR to optimize the lean process. I think that my answer give the brief understand about what lean and why
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
used now.
pretty
Right?
much, pretty much. So thanks a lot, Darshana, for setting the ground and explaining what is lean in HR, and then what are the companies that the lean is used, the companies that are using lean to augment their processes. So with that, Darshan, let me move on to the second question directly. Uh, in HR, we start with recruitment, the talent attraction,
Yes.
right? Which is one of the key areas which HR managers and HR executives, the recruitment executives, are finding a bit difficult sometimes with the current situation as well. Now, in that, we need to make sure that we hire the right candidate at the right time, to make sure the lead time is also less, because the operation and the service should not be interrupted, right? So what is the tool that you're going to introduce to make sure that we hire the right candidate at the right time?
Right, no, thank you, because I know now these days this is the most burning problem in any HR department, right? So we'll give you how it's happened in the Toyota way, right? So we've got the lean way, and I think this will support us to improve your HR process. Simply, I will explain the attract. So that is where the people get hired, right? That pillar I will discuss about simply as answering for the nuanced question. So very simply, the lean attracting lean HR, our objective is hiring competent and trainable people, not just the people. It should be the competent and training people. And the target, the lean HR target, achieving HR just in time. Oh, we call the JIT. I think if you already know the lean, JIT is very famous in the lean, right? But there's a HR JIT. So what is the target of lean HR? Hiring the right person, right amount, right format, right time. So that is called achieving HR JIT. If you can achieve these 4 rights, or we call the JIT, HR JIT, you are perfect on lean HR attraction pillar. Right, we'll go through. This is the picture. You can see the illustration of this hiring process in a high level process, right? So normally what we do is we identify the hiring need, Then we prepare the job description. Then we post this advertisement into maybe the YouTube, so maybe the LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, or maybe in the internet, so maybe the paper, right? So we post this advertisement. Then people they send their CVs or the resumes for us. Then what we do is we are screening, then shortlisted, then finally we hired people. But attraction hire is not finished there. Then we onboard these people for few days or few weeks in the organization. Today I will discuss in this area how this lean concept using in this area today, right? Because of the time point. So in here we use a wonderful tool. It's called the funnel, right? It's called the hiring funnel. Hiring funnel, you can see in the illustration on the picture. What is hiring funnel? The hiring funnel is a conceptual strategic model used to manage the entire candidate journey from awareness to final hire. How it's happened simply, right? So we get people, maybe when we advertise, maybe we have the 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, they send their resume for us. Then what we do is we do the first scanning and we select some people where to go for the next level. Then what we do is we call them sometimes, we ask them some, do the interviews through the calls, and we filtered more and more, and we try to take the best people. Then what we ask some, then later we ask some selected people for a physical interview, maybe one interview, maybe two interviews. Sometimes we do exams, they need to face for exams likewise. And after that, we recruit the person or the best fit for, as we think, the best fit for the organization. This is called the hiring funnel. This may be familiar with us, but what is the important point of this funnel is the filtering point. It's called the shifters, right? Each and every level, we need to define what are the filters of each and every processor. Then we need to take people from that step to next step. I will show you the actual things what we have done for few years ago. You can see this is the process, high level process of recruitment, hiring. You can see there are some stars. That star points indicate what are the filters in that specific area. So application complete, general aptitude test. That's the first one. That means if you get the marks, what we want it, we will take him to the next level. Or people who not get the marks, sorry, they will go out. Likewise, in here we are standardize how we can take each and every people to the next step. But most important part is not the only the people take it. We need to measure this process with the right KPI. So we are here, you can see some KPIs we can apply for the funnel. First one, we need to apply the top of the funnel, number of applications received for the job. Why? It will help us to understand effectiveness of the job posting. So how famous our company is among the candidates in the outside the world. In between this process funnel, we can have another filters, number of candidates fit for the job. That will help us to understand quality of the job post, right? That means we need to get the people right fit for the organization. Finally, we need to have the bottom number of recruit people. So these KPI are very effective. And not only that, we will go for the total process. We can have another process. Funnel KPI that I have already explained you. Not only that, after onboarding, it is really mandatory to check the retention of first 3 months. Why? This will be help us as an organization to check whether we have selected the right best fit people. If we have not selected, definitely these people are left from very first or second month. And apart from that, we can have the full process. We can have the cost per hire and the TAT. I will explain later on and the team. Okay. And here is the total KPI. If you want to improve or if you want to understand the effectiveness of your hiring process, these are the lean KPI. Normally in lean KPI, we use SQDCM. That's the lean matrices. If you want this, you can take a photo also here, right? Okay. In the safety, we can have a KPI for the talent acquisition person or the department, number of accidents till the first week of work. And the quality, yes, the 3 KPI I have mentioned before, and the retention of the first 3 months we can measure it. And not only that, the delivery is another most important KPI. That means the talent acquisition time. We can measure the percentage of talent acquisition, how the talent or HR people has done. Not only that, number of days vacant position also we need to measure. Why? Sometimes you will see these both are same, but actually it's not same. Because sometimes, let's say, if our HR department get late to post the job advertisement, definitely they need more time, and there are some vacant posts are vacant in our organization. Sometimes they are achieved 100%, but there are some vacant posts. Therefore, we need to measure these two KPI to understand the delivery, quality of the delivery of this HR hiring process. And the cost, yes, lean is very simply reduce the cost, identify and eliminating of the waste. And cost per recruitment, we can measure it. And not only that, we can measure the morale of the employee. Some organization who already practice the lean concept, they know what is suggestion and kaizen. These kind of a company, organization, you can measure how many suggestions, how many kaizens has done by the newcomers. That also help us to understand the culture of the organization for the newcomers, whether they adopt the culture. Simply the right KPI always help to achieve the HR JIT in HR process. So define the right KPI, that is really important. And not only that, you can see very simply the actual what we have done to improve. These two picture, you can see there's an analysis called the Makigami analysis. Right? This analysis support to improve the recruitment process. Right? These are the actual pictures we have done in few of our organization before. Makigami is a tool to support you to improve the organization. And these are the actual pictures. You can see the selection process. In the first picture, left side, you can see the stars. Right? So that star mean what are the filtering point of that funnel. And the second KPI monitoring, you can see we need to monitor the how many people send the CVs, how many rejected, how many recruited. This will support us to really understand about the effectiveness of the process. That is where we can incorporate lean into the hiring process, and day by day we can improve the processes. So Nuwan, that's the high level of answer for your question. Thank you very much.
All right. So yeah, thanks a lot for clarifying what the funnel model is and the KPIs that we should be looking at. Because when we keep measuring, that will definitely help us to improve. There are questions coming up also on the same area. Darshan, we will definitely take them towards the end of the program. Keep sending your questions. So thanks a lot, Darshan, once again for presenting about what is lean in HR, and also taking us through the recruitment process and how we can use the funnel model effectively to make sure that we hire the right candidate at the right time and also measure the right KPIs. Right. With that, we are moving on to the second panelist. We have Harshani joining with us. Hi, Harshani.
Hi, everyone. Hi to everyone.
So Darshan explained us about the recruitment, the talent attraction. And then once we take a person in, an employee in, we develop them. And then the most important thing after development, we need to make sure that they're engaged. So Harshani, two questions together to you. Sometimes organizations take engagement wrong. I think we need to explain what is engagement, how we should focus on that. And at the same time, how we can build a suggestion culture within an organization. Over to you.
Thank you for that valuable question. Let me share my screen. Hope that is you can see my screen.
Coming up. Yes. Yes.
As you correctly asked the question, engage is the next pillar that we are talking in the human value stream. Basically, it converts the capability into operational impact. So if you really see nowadays organization, people engagement is not just an activity. Let's elaborate further with the presentation what is the real engagement in the organization is. So moving on, this is the bridge between capability and also with the cultural commitment. So the real engagement of the employee is the motivated participation in the Kaizen process. It's not just doing the job. It is something that they are improving their maybe the standard work and also their certain processes. So apparently that will improve the organization productivity or other KPIs. So it's not, keep in mind, it's not just doing the job. It is actively involvement of their day-to-day responsibility or the STW in order to do continuous improvement at all levels. So if you really look at how the HR lean paradigm shift is, if you view of the engagement it's not just HR concept tracked by annual surveys. So we can see that we have this much survey and all that, how the people are engaged. It's not that. It is the primary operational engine of Toyota production system. That is why Engage is bridge. We mentioned in that as the bridge. And next, you asked about the suggestion mechanism. It is not just an isolated box on the wall where we put in the organization, maybe at the canteen or near the locker rooms or somewhere. It is daily integrated team problem solving. So what's the leadership role? Not just command, control, and demand. It's all serve, support, and enable. So as I explained earlier, its engagement is not a soft HR concept. It's an engine. You can see we are just talking about 4 areas. It is structural involvement. It's about the problem solving embedded in all levels, and the two-way networks and tangible output how we do the appreciation, and also the Kaizen focus. I think Darshan explained on the lean KPIs, how we measure lean KPIs. Even at the Kaizen focus, we are aiming the SQDCM, safety, quality, delivery, first, and morale. And we should not forget at all level, we should keep our respect to the people. So moving on, in terms of the suggestion infrastructure, you can see fully assembled suggestion culture infrastructure. So let's discuss further in that. There are 7 conditions in order to apply suggestion culture in the organization. Let me share my previous experience also while I'm explaining this, how we have embedded a suggestion culture. So number 1 is stability, psychological safety, stability and psychological safety, where people should not be in trouble when they are pointing out problems. They should feel safe. And leaders should not punish for the problem, and they welcome the problems, because it says no problem is no Kaizen. It means there is no continuous improvement in the organization. In order to have psychological safety, formal HR system is very important. That is where we talk about lean HR in the engagement, and also in the suggestion culture. Stable employment and the fair practices. That is where the HR policies are coming to the frame. So stable employment and the fair practices is very helpful in order to people feel safe that they are in the organization, even though they have highlighted maybe issues or problems or something like that. So the condition number 2 is problem solving as a daily embedded habit. You must have seen some organization, we just do that as a periodic activity, maybe as a Kaizen event, but it shouldn't be the way. And the continuous should be embedded to daily habit, because we have standard work, SDWs, daily work, and we have work team formed. All those things, daily progress review, and problem immediately taken as opportunities. We should not see problem as opportunities. So should not forget that all of us are smarter than any of us. It's a totally a team effort. Condition number 3, it's servant leader. So what we basically remove barriers. So you all know in the manufacturing, maybe at the services, we have the frontliner, we are adding value to their work. So as a leader, we should not command and control, but we should support. That is why it's called servant leaders. We should support to our value-adding team. How we can do? We can clarify our common goal, and we can articulate our standard work and provide necessary training, assist in resolving issues, and ensure earned recognition. Because when we implement previously our organization as a suggestion culture, so we practice as actually we remove those barriers. We all involved in, we act as a support team for the value-adding team. Number 4, condition 4, it is about visual, two-way communication loop. So say, for example, I can remember when we collect a number of suggestions from the employees, we had a way that how many, from that suggestions, how we have implemented. We call Kaizen is implemented suggestion. And we always give the feedback because it's upward and downward flow from the communication level. We always given a feedback for the person who gave the suggestion. Thank you for your suggestion, but we will not be able to do, and we have given the reason for it, why we are not applying them. Because we just want to keep the motivation of the people to continuously giving their continuous improvement ideas to the organization, because they just don't want to give a suggestion, and if it is not appreciated or something, not given a feedback, just not to disappear it. So number 5, it's a tangible non-monetary recognition. So you can see in the normally in the organization, recognition always linked with the monetary value. It is not the case, because we can have lot of ways and means to recognition, because I can remember we had a lot of plant visits for best suggestion team and best suggestion or something like that, because we have given a separate plant visit in order to get another upgrade their level by visiting another plant and get their exposure. And award ceremonies, best suggestion, we had the monthly award ceremony for suggestion, best suggestion, and department wise, and visible appreciation board, because every department we had the suggestion boards, and we have put their pictures on the boards, because we want to see we give the genuineness against their suggestions given to the improvement and recognize for that valuable suggestion. So number 6, we called it Seninska. It's the full participation. It's a Japanese word. Full meaning is the full participation. It is not talk about the of shop floor level Kaizen activity. It's from the all level. That is why organization-wide we have the cross-functional teams from all level. You can see in maybe at the manufacturing floor, from the group leader to team leader to team member, everyone is involving for this Kaizen event. Even cross-functional from the separate department, they have identified improvement opportunity and they are involving as a team. So that full participation, it's not that the shop floor, the value-added team is doing that. Every level, everyone is involving, because then they feel they as a part of the team. So let me share some A3s you must have in Lean. We talk a lot on the A3s. So we did the A3 previously in order to have a suggestion culture. You can see the before after pictures, how the number of suggestion has gone up. So we specifically take out well-being suggestion aligned with the HR and ESH team. So how does the well-being suggestion have gone up and how we have recognized and in a different way. And also the problem solving, we called it PDCA man hours. So how that has increased from PDCA man hours for a particular period. And we have showed the action plan in the A3 as well. So with all these activities, we were able to total involvement of employees has to increase. We have to remember that we can have a lot of suggestion from one person, but if you have 2,000 employees in the organization, if we can get more than 1,005 suggestions from particular 1,005 employees, we can say that that organization is really engaged because they are really focused on their job, not others' job. So that is what we have to focus if we are involved, if we are developing a suggestion culture in the organization. Hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, pretty much, Harshini. Thanks a lot for clearly answering the question. First of all, explaining what is engagement, and then also telling us how we can implement a suggestion culture within an organization step by step, and then more importantly, measuring them, which helps us to have an idea where we are, and then we can drive from there. So thanks a lot, Harshini, for sharing your expertise with us. And with that, before we move to Mohan, I told you at the beginning that we are going to tell you something which I would like to share with you all. Yeah, so this is something that we had in the month of March, the HR Excellence, the Lean Way. We had a successful workshop with the participation of HR heads, HR teams, and we are going to run the same thing. And the gift that we are going to give you today is we are going to give you a 20% off for the program, which will be happening on 10th June here in Sri Lanka. It's a physical session, in-person session, which will be happening at Water's Edge. You all can join the program. You all can register with us. We are going to have it on 10th of June. We will tell you more towards the end of the program. And with that, we are moving on to Mohan. Hi, Mohan.
Hi, Nuwan. Good evening.
Very good evening to you. So my question, Mohan, now we spoke about the talent attraction, we spoke about talent engagement, and the engaged people should be inspired to keep them sustained. And how can we inspire people? And what are the tools that we can use?
Okay. Let me to explain with my experience with my slides. So
Sure.
let me to share my slides with you, with the team. Right. Thank you, Nuwan. Right. Okay. So today's topic is for me, the question and what you asked from me. Is it inspiring employees through the lean thinking? So in an HR, if you are in a HR lean thinking person, your question is how that inspired the people. Okay, the building culture of engagement, continuous improvement, and the value creation. There are a lot of the technical words there, but I will go through with my presentation. So when you are having the lean mindset, first of all, you need to think, okay, right. So you are think, right, okay, lean. What is lean? When it comes to lean, always people think that eliminating waste. It's not eliminating only, it's not only the eliminating waste, it's people mindset. So when it comes to the people mindset, actually there are a lot of things, creative value, continuous improvement, respect for people. But as an HR person or as a head of the department or the organization, you need to start the lean thinking with the respect for people. So that is my humble request. You need to respect for people if you are going to start with the lean mindset. In an organization, there are two types of people, right? So there are people who are having with the traditional culture, having low engagement, resistance to change, inefficiencies are there. There are some employees who are still with the silo thinking, low ownership, they are not taking ownership. But in a lean thinking, actually, Harshani touched on this a little bit. When you are having engagement pillar, most of the companies, most of the HR departments try to do programs. They try to start when they're having the budgets. They do a lot of budgeting programs. So they try to implement the trips, programs, trainings, all kind of things. But do you all really think that how that program will affect to these people? How my program will affect to the low engagement? How that low engagement person can convert into the engagement to the engage with the company objectives? So how that the people will resistance to change? Are they going to change with that after this program? So that kind of a thinking you all need to start. So when you are having this program and when you all think as a lean person, you all need to think, okay, my engagement program, my empowerment, and my program will innovation thinking will come, and accountability. So the people who are taking low ownership after the program, are they taking accountabilities? So likewise, you need to think on that side also. Right. Most of the people know that the lean house, the traditional lean house, when we start the first lean concept, we talk about the lean house. In my inspiring pillar, I will put it in the lean organization. the first slide I mentioned that respect for people is the foundation. And the continuous improvement is always there because that is getting empowerment. So people who are engaging, people who are having the respect, so these people give problem-solving mindset is having, and the people empowerment pillar is there. Then the company will start the value creation. The company will get the value creation out of this. So I will touch on this bit in a practical way, how this traditional management and the lean culture. So the traditional culture, most of the people's stance is very reactive and the lean culture is very proactive. So when it comes to now, an example, we can think like Nuan and the team, we can take in my previous organization, some of the time, some mechanics, they do the repairing when the machine is going to break, broke or some problem. But when the lean culture, people will think that, okay, that the preventive maintenance happen. Always they think that, okay, this machine was shut down or whatever every 3 days or every month. So we need to have some kind of a program and we need to start the, total TPM activities. So then they start the proactive measures. And the focus, most of the traditional culture, they always go with the task. The management assign the task and they complete the task. But when it comes to the lean culture, if the management assign to the task to the person who are having this lean mindset, so then they are thinking as, okay, right, after my project or whatever, what is the value I'm going to give this to the organization after this program, like that. So the power dynamic, it's always controlling mode, and the power dynamic in the lean culture, it's always empowerment. And the motivation is always compliance, and the motivation is lean, it's always ownership, because in the lean culture, he or she always take the ownership and drive the program. I will touch upon the human involvement of this. Most of the people know these, few keywords in lean. Kaizen's 5As, Gemba walk, visual. Gemba walk means that go and see. So if that is normal, the word we call as Gemba walk, visual management, root cause analysis, and daily hurdles. So if you all understand this, and this how will involve with the mindset of the human touch. Example. Now, I will take one example. If person is given the Kaizen mindset, people now their thinking pattern is going to start with the innovation mindset, and the trust and the collaboration also coming with this. So likewise, you have starting with the lean mindset, and you will get the involvement of the human. Okay, now Darshana spoke about the attraction one, and Harshani also spoke about this engagement pillar. So I will put it in this way. When we are hiring the person who are having the right mindset, the problem-solving mindset, then we can develop the person with the continuous learning and the Kaizen mindset. Then automatically, and they come with the engage with the company, because they are developing with the company, and we give a lot of things. And before retaining the person, then the employee is starting performing with that all these trainings and the development and engage. They are trying to start performing with inside the organization. They give the ideas, they create the value, they give the value ideas to the company. So then that comes with the ownership and the respect for people. It's come with the retain. So that is my human value stream. So we'll look at it how this will benefit to the people as well as the benefits for the organization or the business. If we talk about the people side, capability building is always getting there, and ownership, employee is always getting the ownership, and higher morale. When it comes to the business side, productivity will go up, quality will go up. Cost improvement means that the cost improvement programs, cost improvement ideas will come, right? So that the customer value. So those things will come with this lean mindset. So the end of my few slides, and with the limited time period, I will give you this. Inspired employees, always creative, exceptional values inside the organization. So over to you, Nuan. I hope I will, with the limited time, I will answer your question.
Pretty much. Thanks, Mohan. The most important thing you highlighted, the inspiration happens, it goes in a cycle. You have the people attracted, then they're developed, then they should be engaged, and then they start performing. And then for retaining, we need to make sure that we respect the people and we do the right things to make sure that they're retained with the company. And you explained from the beginning to the end. Thank you very much for your contribution. And with that, I think we are getting the questions in. I will, so just to give you a small heads up again, the HR Excellence Program, the Lean Way, will be happening on 10th June. It's going to be a one-day program from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Waters Edge. The investment is going to be 25,000 per head. And if you get registered today, we have shared the link with you. You're going to get 20% off. So that's the gift that is going to come on your way. And with that, we can move on to the questions. The first question goes to Darshana.
Yes, no, I'm here.
So there's a question, I think, that came at the very first stage of the webinar. Please explain more about identifying the recruitment need.
Okay. Thank you. So thank you, Nona. I see this question from Chamila. Thank you very much, Chamila, for this is a wonderful question you asked, especially in these days, the right human people think about, organizations think about the head count also, right? Because of the cost impact and the technology also coming, right? So I will give you the answer in the lean way, how we think normally, right? To identify the lean, so in lean way of thinking, we have four ways of thinking. First of all, we are starting with the business strategy. In the lean, we call the Hoshin. So whatever Hoshin says, or the business strategy says about this year, how our operation drives, right? Maybe it will be our Hoshin says our business strategy, we have expansion of our business, or maybe going for a new area, right? New country. So that will be we take first to understand the recruitment, how many people we want, what are the talent we need it, right? That's the strategy of your business. And not only that, whether we go for digitalization or automations. So these are matters to identify the recruitment of the recruitment, the need of recruitment. So that is the one way, understand of the Hoshi. Second one, analyze the current workforce, right? So it is really important to understand what current our people are doing, whether they have the right skill or enough skill to run the organization with these new challenges, and how they perform, the level of performance, plus the retention of our employees inside the organization. Based on that, we can understand. The second one is based on the understand the recruitment need. That's under the lean. Third one is the skill gap one. So that is most understand Chamila. So this is another one what lean always does. Because the world is changing, our organization is changing, we adopt new technologies, AI to machineries. Then we need to understand whether our people, with the current employees, whether they have the right skill to manage the new changes or the organization changes. Based on that, we can understand whether we develop the people inside or we need to recruit people outside to cater that requirement. That is the third one. And the last one is simply the business focus. I mean, the forecast of the business. Let's say you get more sales in the future. You see, you get more you need manufacturing, more manufacturing customers, more products, or you need more service, right? Then you need to understand, okay, to cater that one, we need more people. So there we can understand whether we automate the process or we add more people for that. Based on these criteria and the Chamila and the team, so we can understand the recruitment need. These are the way of lean thinking. I will summarize the very top. First, First one is start with the business strategy, or we call the hoshing. Second one is the analyzing the current workforce. And third one is the identify the skill gaps. And fourth one is the our demand, forecast demand. That means inside the company, your sales or your production demand. These are the four main factors that we can consider to understand the recruitment need. But not only these four, but there are more. But these are the main four we discuss under the lean very first. Janwan.
All right. So thanks a lot, Darshana, for that comprehensive answer, because companies do struggle certain times because they ramp up, then they ramp down. We are living in a VUCA world anyway, that happens. So you explained all those elements that we need to consider because it's not just a bed of roses. The things will change, and these four will definitely make sure that you find the right need. So thanks a lot, Darshana. And with that, I'm moving on to another question. I think this is about workforce calculation. Yes. How to calculate HR team as per the company volume in relation with lean and lean HR KPI? So, Harshani, would you like to answer this question?
So, Nuan, thank you for that question. I think a very valid question. Only thing, I will not go detail into the calculation method, but I'll give you insights. Because in lean KPIs in Toyota, they really focus on the turnover rate. So if you consider the turnover rates, what's HR workload is on the exit interviews, backfill, retention kaizen, those you have to consider. And people from the HR, how you are managing their time, that is, it is important, because all about how you spend the time. The second one is that from the suggestion per employee. So how many suggestions that have given. So in order to do that, we need to do coaching and also the tracking system of suggestions. That is where HR is involving. Number 3 is training hours. So I'm just referring to the human value stream, right? So training per person. So TPS, so we need to plan and execute, deliver the training plan and instructions. And the most importantly, Toyota, the internal promotion rate. So that is also they are considering. So in order to do that from HR, you have to consider how the career path is going, and specifically in the develop pillar, we talk about the skill metrics and all that, how this is supporting, how HR is supporting in order to achieve that. That is very important. So, and the next one is time to competency. So if you recruit a person from onboarding to production to how that is go. So those are the areas that HR is involving. And the problem solving participation, how HR is facilitating through A3 knowledge and development from the problem solving participation. Those are the 6 areas you have to consider when you consider lean HR KPI and allocate HR resources. Basically, we count from the numbers, hours. So based on that, you can calculate your head HR structure, because we have to keep in mind, this is not 1 person for 100 employees HR people. So this is usually we use for 100 people, 1 HR person. This is not that very effective, because at Toyota, they are really focused on how HR is supporting the production flow, production volume increase. So I think I have given a little bit insights for his questions.
All right. Thanks a lot, Arshani. And we are moving on to one more question with the time that we have. I think that will answer a couple of questions. I will post this to Darshana because it has directly come to Darshana. Having worked in 30 countries, what is the biggest cultural barrier you encountered when trying to implement lean?
Okay, so good. No, that is the, I think most of the people always in my last 24 years experience and the countries I worked with and supporting, consulting, ask the same question. So actually there's a, see, very simply, it is finally in one, and Hashim, sorry if I make mistake pronouncing your name, apologize. So actually the culture is the mostly effect for implementing lean. It is not about the country culture, all right? It's about the internal organization culture also affect. Even the best culture countries, maybe the organization is not that much of good for change. So it is very difficult to implement lean. Even the other side also. Yeah, maybe your country doesn't like to change, but your inside the organization is having a culture of respect people and continuous improvement. Yeah, we can implement lean. So what I have seen, the barriers, what I have seen is not the language one, because I have worked with more than 20 people who speak in more than 20 languages, right? So, but I don't know these languages. I know only 4 or 5. But it is not about the language. It is not about the religion, right? It is not about where you born, your family background. It is not. That is not the country. What I have seen it, how much you willing to change by yourself, right? That is the barrier I have seen. If it is not the anything is not right. If you are willing to change, if your organization have a culture that respect people, as Mohan and Harshani clearly said, respect people, respect their ideas, right? Respect them what they tell, right? So, and how much the management and the employees willing to change, that is where you can apply lean, right? Don't worry about the religion, don't worry about the culture, don't worry about the education level of employees, because I have worked with the many companies who are the factories. They have people who cannot even read, right? They can speak, but they can read it, but they are adopting lean. It is about not what you are literacy level. It is about to understand how much you can, how much you like to learn, with respect of management, with the right leadership who will respect the people and get suggestion from the employees very clearly. Archana has explained. So then you can change it. That is the barrier I have seen it. And that is the answer for how to overcome the barrier also, I think, is there in, because we don't have a time, right? So, and if anyone come physically for the
Yeah,
workshop, I think you can ask thousand of questions. We can give some practical example also how we have overcome this situation, right? So, Anwan, with
exactly.
the time, I give
Yeah,
a very small answer. Thank
right.
you.
All right. So thanks a lot, Darshana, for that comprehensive answer, because that answered a couple of questions. You directly said that uh, it's about yourself and the company's culture that will help you, because it's not the age, not the religion, not the gender, not where you are from. So thanks a lot for that answer. I think that brings us to an end, because the time that is available for us is pushing us to uh, put it to a close. But there are lots of questions that have come. We will make sure that we answer those questions. Um, Maybe since you are there in our group, we might be able to answer you directly as well. Um, Apart from that, I would like to bring into your notice again about the program that will be running on 10th of June, the HR Excellence, the Lean Way, where we will be answering most of the questions what we discussed today comprehensively. It's going to be a one-day program happening at Waters Edge on 10th June. So I would like to thank everyone who joined with us today, and especially the panelists, Darshana, Mohan, Harshani, for sharing your expertise and helping our participants to understand what is lean in HR, and how we can implement it. And we have few questions coming from the service sector, how we can implement that, in the hotel sector, how we can implement that. We will definitely answer your question, and also we'll connect with you for further work. And if you would like, you can join us on 10th June to further explore on this subject. With that, I would like to thank everyone for joining with us today, and we'll meet you once again with a seminar, with a webinar, uh, sharing more expertise. Thank you very much once again, and have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the week.